I was asked to talk about what things are working in our seminar. We do monthly seminars, and we do a really good job with that. Um, I was having a hard time connecting with the audience, and I saw a seminar about telling stories and telling personal stories. So, my first personal story that I told had to do with my relationship with my father, and where he and I were changing roles, where he was um, handing me off the responsibility of doing a lot of his paperwork, so to speak. So I was doing his tax returns and I was doing a lot of things that normally he would be doing. So as our roles changed, we went through a little bit of arguments and sometimes not so good conversations, and I felt really bad. And finally, when I started to work at Sterling and Tucker and realized that it was part of the aging process and that he was actually our roles were switching, and I realized that that was happening, and so he and I amend our relationship for that reason. So I was very happy about that, because if that didn't um, resolve and he passed away, then it would be something I would have on my mind. But now I have an even better story. Now I don't know if it's a good story, but now I always talk about him. And I do Medicaid VA seminars, and he's a veteran, and he's in a nursing home, and he was in a nursing home, and now he's in a VA nursing home. So I talk about him and how we're trying to figure out how to deal with his finances. I also talk about my mom and dad living together, and now they're both out of the home. And so, my dad's paying 10,000 a month for nursing home, and my mom is in assisted living at 5,000. So those stories I tell right up front, and I think right there, I think they realize that I'm telling something about my life that they appreciate, because when they do come in, they actually say, "I really appreciate you sharing your story about your family." I even talk about my brother's the trustee, first name trustee, and I'm secondary, and we do have differences in opinion a lot of times. But I do, say that he's the one that got my father on the VA because he was persistent in taking my dad to the VA office. So, I mean, once I told stories about my family, I think I got the audience to realize that I'm a normal person. And then the other stories that I tell are actual cases. I've been with the firm for, luckily, long enough to have many different stories, and so I always have a story. And when I talk about a topic, I bring up a case, and I immediately engage the whole audience by bringing up these stories. I can tell that they're listening. So those are my tips. Talk about stories, talk about actual real cases. Don't use anybody else's cases, use your own cases, and actually talk about you and your family.